Okay, Boker Tov, Boker Or,
Boker Tov, Boker Tov, Boker
E-
Or.
Erev Tov. And I just want to start off this year, and you want to להתחיל את השיעור עם Perek Ayin Aleph, Pasuk Yud Beis. Would you guess what it is? I'll read it. Elokim al tirchak mimeni, Elokai ve'ezrati, Chusha, Chusha.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I saw that
You got it.
last week.
Okay,
I
you
was wondering.
spotted it. You spotted.
I spotted it. Yeah,
Are they doing it every morning? Do you hear them every morning?
yeah, yeah. Actually, they must have done it. I came a touch late today, so I
They do
don't
it
remember
pretty early.
hearing it.
They do,
Yesterday I heard it.
yeah, they do it pretty early. Anyway,
It's something Chusha and then Moshiach.
Mashiach. Okay, they add their own. Anyway,
You
also
can dig it out of your file. You have it, and you just look last year in your WhatsApp or 2 years
I
ago.
know that's true. That's true. Anyway, I also wanted to mention that today is the last year in Hewlett. We're living, moving around in the five towns.
Yellow
Vayisu,
Nova Nod.
no, Vayisu, Vayachnu. We were started in Lawrence.
Beisavayachno.
Lawrence, I don't know who Lawrence is. I mean, he was a nice guy. But then we went to Hewlett,
Of Arabia?
Lawrence of Arabia, could be the Lawrence of the five towns. And then we were in Hewlett for a while over here, Baruch Hashem. It was in that time. And Mirza Hashem, tomorrow we will be in Woodmere with Zalman Meir. And we will broadcast, and we will start counting the days. You will see the numbers behind us.
May not see the number. Okay.
Why?
I didn't want.
Going to start anyway. The Rebbetzin said technical. It'll take us maybe a day or two to get our signs up. But anyway, we're on our way back near to Shem, and Michael Shapiro actually contacted me today just to say hello. It's good that the Chevra are getting in touch. Anyway,
Well,
so
you wouldn't have been happy today, or maybe if you would have been there, then everybody else would have been able to be happy too. But today, because of the minyanim, there's so many minyanim. A Sephardi minyan came right next to us,
oi, oi,
and
oi.
they took four bimas, and we only had one bima for our minyan.
You are kidding. Oh,
No, so your place there was no bima, and Smutny had no bima. The only one that had a bima was the
was
was
Chaim,
my
with Chaim Smetna,
no, he didn't
Chaim.
have a bima. He did not have a bima. The only had a bima was me. With
And
the
because you
Shliach
had a
Tzibur
Sefer
Daven.
Torah, you had, but there is no
Well,
Sefer
no
Torah.
Sefer Torah today because that's the Shliach Tzibur Davens
You
there.
see. So you know what? I hate to say it. We have a koach, you know, it kochi va'atzmi, kochi we
You
it.
know, Ramosha Chaim is not a two for one. He doesn't mince words, and he doesn't. He says, and he's a man of action. Meanwhile, there was only one bima. I
Garnish
don't know.
gehelfen. But I can tell
Gornish
you,
Gelfen.
by the way, I'm surprised that what's his name was usually is the one who sets up. Yeah, yeah,
Yosef Kaufman.
yeah. What's
Don't know. I don't know. Maybe they came before him. I don't know.
All I know is that my one of my tafkidim was exactly Hagana to protect the beamers, not the bummer. We, maybe that's in the when it comes to the base of Mikdash, we're not supposed to have bummers, but do have beamers. But anyway,
I don't consider you a bummer.
okay. Anyway, the only close thing to a bummer that I am is hopefully
A bum.
we Bart the bum. Hopefully that's the type of bum I want to be. The base medrash,
Right.
base medrash.
Amen.
Anyway, so today is Hey Elul, and we're talking about Biderman. Milech. We have his mishpacha. We usually have a few yard sites. Today is Reb David Tzvi Shlomo Biderman, and also Shlomo Ben Chaim Dov Stenzel. Now, I'm not talking, remember the good old days when they had stencils? Remember that?
Sure.
You mentioned to the Heintige Chevra, you talk about a rotary phone and you talk about a stencil, they don't know what you're talking about. But anyway,
Right.
this is Reb Stencil. And then Sholom ben Chalfon Koski, and not we're talking about Costco, we're talking about Chaf Aleph Samech Chaf Yud. I think that's the way you pronounce his name, Chasky. And then
Maybe it's
also
Chesky.
Chasky, not really? No, Chasky was a tzaddik. And a ching. Now this is a chaf. But anyway, here we go. And there's also Avram Chaim ben Aaron Rota, Hamachuna, the Hisko Kachayim. These are the yard sites for today. And we go to our Tehillim, and hopefully we have to say Tehillim to make sure we could hear our Tehillim. Kuf Chav Zayin. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to have certain people in mind, Rachel Elisheva, and I go to share. I go to share sound right. Media player to the left. Share. Here we go. Today it worked. Here we go.
Oiko Beis Yisrael, Hayachenu,
Kol
Beis Yisrael, Anesonim Batzara, Batzara Uvashivya, Oimdim Ben Bayam, Uvein Bayabosho. Amokim Yirachem Aleim, Yetziim Yitzara, Le'avacha, Me'afel Le'oira, U'mishiva Le'geula Ashta, Bagala, Uvizman, Karif.
Okay, so Yishav Lachem Mashkimei Kum. Umsitz, without any money, gratis. State,
Nothing, free.
Umsitz, state ear of Gor, period, free, on Eilt Eich zu arbeiten. Free, we know, is early in the morning, free, mashkime. That's what we have the Hashkoma minion. And it says, Eilt Eich. What do you think it is? It says, Kum, Shav Lachem Mashkime Kum, Umsitz state here, Eif, Gor free, nor free, on Eilt Eich zu arbeiten. Eilt Eich. And today's word Eilt is Aleph Yud Yud Lamed Tes. Aleph Yud Yud Eich is to hurry up, to make haste. Eilt Eich. And zu arbeiten, to go to work. Me achere Sheves bleibt sitzen bis spät. And then in parentheses by their Arbeit. Ochle lechem atzovim, und esst das Stickelbräut mit Miedkeit. That's a word. Another word, miyadkeit. You're already at gone soccer. Miyadkeit is with fatigue. That's another word, miyadkeit. Kain yitain azoy ken Hashem yisborach geben parnasa liadido shena. Far mensch welche neemt avec schloffen von sein oib unlearned Torah. Okay, you have you gotten Tzvi? You're still there? I see you really signing off. That was my Yiddish. Are you still there, Tzvi?
Yeah, I'm still here. I wanted to open up the Winkel.
Oh, I was about to
And
say, I want to give you Yishar Koach and the Chofetz Chaim for the Winkel.
yeah,
And for
yeah,
Lauren,
very
I
nice
mentioned
of its time.
Hisalamta. You did not hide away from the Chofetz Chaim. He's mechazik, Balei Tshuva. He's very, very a gavalda gavot from the Chofetz Chaim.
And not only, not just Balei Tshuva, but to be machzir people to Tshuva, to return their souls to them.
That's right.
That's
Hashovas
the
Aved.
point.
Hashovas
But
Aved.
there is one word here which I think takes the cake.
Oh, Daf Essen. Ain't Kemach
There
in
is,
Torah.
there was farblozhent, which means to go astray, to get lost.
We have done often without ways. Before ways, everybody would get lost.
Blunge.
Plunge.
It's a nun in there.
Right.
And then there's fahoilin. Fahoilin is to conceal, or to cover up. That's visalamta.
Right.
Then videkeren. Videkeren is to
To
return.
return.
The menug is the meaning, the implication, or the intent. That's a good word. You see that a lot. The menug. You see it in the Beis Yehuda. And the word here, we're going to let you pronounce it. Do you have the vocabulary? You don't have it in front of you.
I don't have it, but it's a long word. I couldn't pronounce it. I don't think you could even to write it. It was like 20 letters.
I never saw such a word before.
20 letters.
I was so excited. Let's see if I can pronounce it. It's Verantwortlichkeit.
Okay,
Verantwortlichkeit. Verantwortlichkeit.
Okay.
Responsibility, accountability,
Wow,
an obligation.
Achrayus. Okay.
Verantwortlichkeit. What a word. Okay. Anyway, so last night, I just want to tell you that, let me bring you back. Let's see if I can bring myself back. If I can return my soul. Where are you? You would here. Be, okay. You would be here.
I want you to know you're prominently over there. You have a very nice poem over here. Your status page.
I don't know where you are.
Okay.
Anyway, let me shine now. I just want to tell you that last night, you know what they say is mekenish tanzen auf stei chasen, zwei chasenes, but we did. We had two chasenes. The first one was in Malo Dafna, and that was a fellow, was a Ben Bayis, a Russian fellow that was a Ben Bayis by us as when he was a bocher many years ago. He was married with a family, I think 5 or 6 kids, and unfortunately he got divorced a couple of years ago. And last night he got remarried to a woman, a Russian woman, who also was married for a number of years and has 5 or 6 kids of her own and divorced a couple of years ago. So similar stories. And Baruch Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mizavik Zivugim.
It reminds me.
Wonderful lady.
It reminds me of Bayis Sheni. It's almost like they say, when the Mizbeach cries, when the Nebuch, when a couple breaks up, but when you get two of them get together, two Mizbeachs, then the Choshes and the Zahav, and they get together.
Yeah, we used to have back in the days where we used to have Vad Bayit meetings. I don't know if you never experienced that.
Yes, we
Probably.
did. We have.
We did?
Actually, yep. We had 5 Diskin. We had more than one Vad Bias meetings. Yes.
We used to have twice a year because you had shared hasaka. You had heat, so the building had the tenants had to decide how many hours of heat we were going to allot. Like there was 3 hours 2 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening, or something like that.
We're
Anyway,
independent.
at
Yes.
that meeting, were two of the people that lived in our building. One was Rav Yosef Feldman, who was Rav Aaron Feldman's father, and he was he came for many years in Baltimore, and he was the big man in Gittin in Baltimore. The other person that was in our building was a Rabbi Tabak, who was an RCA rabbi, and he was a Masada Kedushin. So they used to always go at each other about who made more Kedushin, who made more Gittin.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, one time, so Rabbi Feldman, who was quite a sharp Lamdan, he told Rabbi Tabak that he has to have for him Hakaras Hatov. So he said, why? So he says, because for every get that I make, that I give, so you get 2 chasanas. That's what you're saying.
I hear
From one
that.
comes two. From one comes two. Any case, when we finished that wedding, which was about 10 o'clock at night, then we drove out to Mitzpah Yericho because my wife's best friend married off a daughter.
Wow.
So
I'm
I
surprised
don't
you.
have to tell you. I don't have to tell you what time I got home
Oh
and
boy.
how it was and the nisim that it was to get
Okay. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Baruch
I
Hashem.
wanted to add the idea of the question of Avada bias as to Hasaka. You know, many people, it's a question of how much oil there is in the house. And Rabbi Rivlin, who used to be the person who was the Ozer for Rav Moshe Feinstein, Zatzal, he used to say, Midaf Haben oil Malchus Shemayim. Anyway, that's the way he used to do it. Anyway.
I'll tell you one other thing. Before I left the first chasana, so I didn't know who was going to be able to speak, who knew, nobody really knew the chassan. So I wanted to say a few words. So I sort of jumped up right when they started the Suda, and I asked for permission. There was a Mardasra, the girl lives in Male Amos, so which is near Gush, near the Gush. So there was a Rav there. So I asked permission, and I stood up and I said a Dvar Torah. And the last thing I said was something that I read many years ago in the Sefer Limudei Nisan from Rav Nissen Alpert. And essentially what he says is that he says when the Torah talks about the Mishkan, and it says after they put up the Urios, so then the Torah says, Vahi Mishkan Echad. So the Mishkan was called Echad when the Urios were put up. And the Sforno says that the Urios, the whole thing was put up in a nace, because when they brought all the Kelim to Moshe Rabbeinu, they brought it to Betzalel, he didn't know how to put together the Mishkan. So Betzalel went to Moshe. Moshe didn't know how to put together the Mishkan. So Moshe Rabbeinu asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what do I do? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, make Ki'ilu. So you hold up the Urios, and he held it up, and willy-nilly, as Rabbi Soloveitchik would say, willy-nilly, who come out Mishkan? The Mishkan whoop, came up and got up. So it was all an ace. But you see that when it happened was by holding the Urios. So Frek Reb Nissen Alpert, what's the Indian of the Urios? That's what we call, that's called the Mishkan. Mishkan is everything, the Krushim, the Adonim, everything.
Everything together.
No, it's called the Urios. Why? So he says beautiful. He says, because there's 2 types of batim. One bias is a bias, which is a Gashmi bias. You're building a house, you have to make sure you have strong foundation, because the better the foundation, the higher you'll be able to build, and the more the building will withstand any fierce weather conditions. But that's a regular house. But when you're building a Mishkan, which is a spiritual house, so the Yanika doesn't come from the Yesoidos, the Yanika comes from the Shamayim.
Ooh.
So therefore the Urios are the Chelek HaElyon of the Mishkan, because that's to symbolize that the strength of the Mishkan came from the Malo.
Sata Dishmaya. Sata Dishmaya.
Yeah, from up there. So anyway, so why am I telling you that? Because when I finished saying that, and I was about to leave, so the Mord Astra came over to me, and he said, Yasher Koyach. He said, so I told him, said a few things over the name of Moshe. So I told him that I had the schus to bring Moshe to the Kaisel. So he said, well, he had the schus to be a Talmud of Reb Nissen Alpert.
Oh, you see that? Both together.
Yeah. He was all, and I chose one thing to say to himself, and he's mamish a Talmud from Nissen Alpert.
Wow,
Is
you
that
said
beautiful?
it. Beautiful, it is.
Beautiful.
And
Okay.
I know you have to go, but I would just want you to know that when I perform marriages, whatever type of marriages I perform, I said when you are single, you're incomplete, and when you get married, you're finished. Anyway, so that's the way my Dvar Torah for today, which doesn't compare to yours. V'hukam Mishkan.
I just want to say to your wife that she didn't hear anything. That's all.
Okay. Anyway,
okay. should hold it against you.
Okay, shalom bayis. Anyway,
Kol tov.
Chaim
Tovim.
Shkeach. Thank you, Tzvi. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with Rav Biderman, Rav David Tzvi Shlomo ben Elazar Menachem Nolad Belelev, and in Poland, and Be'el Shmonot Abayim V'Shalosh, and Tzvi is still with us. How do you like that? It's wonderful. He's still with us. V'Niftar B'Yerushalayim B'Yom Hey Elul.
Can't get rid of you.
What?
I can't get rid of you. I can't get rid of you.
Okay, you'll still be with us forever. It's okay until it ends. Anyway, and he was nifter on Hey Elul, which is today. Elef Chaman Shmonis Rabbi Yosef B'Sheish. When he was 6 years old, he made Aliyah with his parents, Ve'im Sabo, Rav Moshe, and his grandfather. That's 3 is already gone. Rav Moshe Haya Beno Shel Rav David Biderman, Hamiyaseh Shel Shulshelet Lelev, the Lelev of Chasidim, Sheniftar Be'elef Shmonot Abayisrei, Kishenifradu Mi Rebbe Yisrael Mi Rajin, Achaz Rebbe Yisrael Biyodo Shel HaYeled V'Omar Yeled Zeh Lo Yechte Le'olam. B'nei Nu'urav Nasal L'chzor Kedei L'Hakir Et Tzadikei Chasidus. Hit Rashem B'miyuchad Mi Reb Aaron Mi Karlin Hasheni. Bal Beis Aaron Mi Oz Ro'ah Atzmo K'chosid Karlin V'nahag B'chol Min Hagei Karlin. Reb David Tzvi Shlomo Shav Eretz Yisrael Nachshav L'Rosh Rishon Ben Chasidei Yerushalayim Ulam Beyotel Chasid Karlin Sirev L'Itater B'Keter Ad Muraso Shel Lelev. Af she'achasidim sovevu oto me'az histalkuto shel aviv b'shnat 1883 ad az nahag l'tpalel Eiser Kalin v'lo b'beit medrash shel Reb Elazar Menachem Mendel. B'shnat 1876 nozda yeshivat Chayei Olam b'hashpos Reb David Tzvi Shlomo. Reb David Tzvi Shlomo haya mamuna al kolel Varsha b'Yerushalayim v'asa rabos l'harchavos ha'yishuv b'Yerushalayim. Who ishpia al hanadiv Rabbi Yaakov Tenizrot sheyifkod biado 52,000 ruble l'torazu v'habatim reshumin hakodesh Biderman lo nehena b'kasbei hakolam ma'uma v'amad b'chol tokef al kal she'af echad mibanav lo yavra lagur b'batei varsha l'val yehena chas v'shalom mibatim elu kisha hura matzav hakoilel v'lo yav biyodo l'shalom et chovos husam al yedei nosha be'sora. You see that? That's called Mesiras Nefesh. He was actually locked up, debtor's prison. But Ma'amasim Rabin shal tzadiki pulim ubikar shal Reb Aryeh Lev Migur bal Sfas Emes Reb Avram Misochachav the Avnei Nezer Husku Kasofim L'Tashel Machovos ve'Harebe Shuchrar. Of David Haya Bal Hadras Panim Vayineres Al Kol Tosh Ve'ir V'Gam Ashiltonis HaTurkim Chibdu Tfilason Nehalavos Benusach Karlin. If you ever daven Karlin, let me put it this way: you better have earplugs. Ha're'ida levovos, her'ida levovos v'gorma levechi shel mamish eisel shomov. Banav hayu Rab Shimon Nota shehu kien k'admur meilel b'Yerushalayim Rab Yaakov Yosef v'Pinchas Uri. From his Chidushei Torah were published in Likutei Divrei David. Okay. Okay, so Ad Khan, David Tzvi Shlomo Biderman, again, just like Rabbi Rice has his sheets for about the biographies. Of course, Rab Shmaryahu has today's sheet on Rav Biderman, which will be put in their chat. Shlomo ben Chaim Do Stenzel, it's his yahrzeit today. Nolad be'el shmonot shmonim v'arba v'niftar be'el shamot chasrei נולד בפולין, ב-1895 למד בישיבת אמסוב, אחר כך למד בישיבת אבני נזר. התחתנה בן 18, התמנה כרב בצ'ילדס, בן 20, בשנת 1908 היה דיין בסיצניביץ, היה ראש ישיבה וגידל בתורה. עבר בחילה שלמה, בי שלמה, הוא היה מחבר הספרים האלו, חידושי הגון מסוסנוביץ'. היום זה גם כן היורצייט של שלמה בן חלפון קסקי, שנולד ב-1808 ונפטר ב-1873, ונולד בחלל בסוריה, היה רב עיר בעין טוב, היה קודש בתו, ב-1699 נבחר כרב הראשי לחלב, והיה מחבר שלום תם. היום זה גם כן היורצייט של אברהם חיים בן אהרון רוטה, המכונה השחוק החיים, שנולד ב-1924 ונפטר ב-2012, נולד באוקראין, והיה אדמו"ר משומרי הלוקה החסד, ב-1944 היה מחבר אמרי קודש, חוקי חיים, עולה ושבס. עד כאן היורצייטים של היום. אנחנו ממשיכים באהבת חסד, שהחפץ חיים מביא מכל הפרשיות התורה ענייני חסד, ואנחנו מגיעים לפרשת ויחי, וכן בסדר ויחי, זה הולך לפי סדר יומי, חפץ אהבת חסד. יש כזה, אתם תראו במה שאני שמתי את הספר, תראו שיש לוח יומי. וכן בסדר ויחי וכמה פרשיות מדברים בו מעניין חסד, כי בהם נתפרש פטירת יעקב, עניין קבורתו והבכייה והספדו, as we said, the chesed and chesed shalemes, dealing with the kvura and with the hesped, the mourning, and the eulogy, unasias mitoso, and the havayaso, and the funeral. Shekol zeh me'inyan chesed, canal. Moshe Kosuv, and also the later on pasuk Mem Zayin Chavtes, Vasisa Imodi Chesed Emes, Kamosha Pirush Rashi Sham, Shmos. Also now we go to Shmos Parsha Rishona, Vatirena Mialdos Vatchayenos Yodos, Ru Chesed She'asu Imohem. We see how the nursemaids, how the those who would give birth, the midwives were able to save the young Jewish babies. Ki haylo haya b'yicholtem l'tzeis yidei shemaim v'yidei malchus. When Paro had put out a decree to throw the children, and then these midwives were appointed, they could have just said, we won't kill them. They were supposed to kill them. They won't kill them and just do nothing. They should stop being midwives. They were Yeshamayim Penacheros Mialdos. They were concerned that if they did not do it, others would destroy it, would kill the newborns. Tishman al Eitzas Paro Miura. They would listen to Paro's decree and kill the birthlings. Al Kain is Chasku in Benos Yisrael, and we see that they were actually Moshe Nefesh. Not only did they save the children, but they actually fed and gave. They fed the those who were pregnant, anios, the ones giving birth. Instead of killing them, they assisted them. And we see Shlishi in the Parsha in Shmos, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Perak Beis, Pasuk Yav Yitzei Elecha V'Yar B'Shlovim. Moshe Rabbeinu went out and saw the fact that the Klal Yisrael was suffering from the Avdus. Hainu Shenasan Libo Lios Metzor V'Doeg. He saw the distress and the anxious of this people of Klal Yisrael. Kapirish Rashi V'Zeu Mimidos Chesed, to identify with people who are suffering, that is a form of chesed. So, okay, we got a warning already. Okay, so midas chesed. Shetzorech adam lisbonin, but tzorech chaver, a person has to experience, join in the suffering of others. Ulai yuchal lo shia, maybe he could save them. The pasuk Yud Beis, we see v'yachas amitri kedei lahatzil amuka, when we saw that Moshe Rabbeinu actually was able with the Shema Mefurish to get rid of the Egyptian who was beating up the Jew, and v'yakam Moshe v'yushin and Vayom Torman, and we also see when Moshe Rabbeinu with the daughters of Yisro, he was able to get the Gadolo Dolo Lana V'Yashket Tzona, that he drew over the water and was able to feed their sheep. B'shvi, so you have that form of chesed. Vayukashot B'nei Yisrael, and there were those who were in charge of the Bnei Yisrael, the V'kama Kama Me'achesed Yesh B'zeh Shelo Russell Izchot Osei Amlacha. They did not drive the worst mercilessly the capos, and instead they were the one who drew the fire. V'kilu Aleim Hakos. They themselves were smitten, and of course Ayin Shambarashi. That's a tremendous form of chesed, and also Parshas B'Shalach, Perak Yud Gimel Pasuk Yud Tes. These are all instances of chesed. Vayikach Moshe es Asmos Yosef. The fact that Moshe carried the bones of Yosef to Eretz Yisrael, to Shechem, Shizeh Shilem Hakadosh Baruch Hu LiYosef Avur Chesed Hazeh She'asa Liach. That I'm sorry, Asmos Yosef. That Hashem paid back what, because Yosef was took the bones of Yaakov to Maris Machpelah, because of Kisa, Besota Tes Amid Aleph. I'm sorry, Tes Amid Beis, as it says in the pasuk, Tes Vav Amid Tes Vav Perak Tes Vav pasuk Beis. Zeh Keli Vanveu Isa B'Shabbos Kuflamid goes Abba Shol. Havidomalo. What do you mean? Anveu. Mahu Chanuv Rachum Afata Chanuv Rachum. The Anveu Dorish Lashon Anivahu. So we see that also that to be like a Kaddish Baruch Hu with the midas of Chesed. Parshas Yisro, we also learn Vayese Moshe Likras Chosno. He greeted Yisro v'kam psukim shaklav who are called Bichlal Haknosas Orchem. How you should greet someone to bring, just like Avraham Avinu, Shehu midas of Chesed. V'gam b'pasuk Chaf. Here we go. Pasuk Chaf. Hodata lehem es haderech v'darshu Chazal es haderech zug milas chasadim. B'asara hadibros, and when it comes to the Ten Commandments, says in Chaf and Pasuk Vav, Osa Chesed la'alafim, Hashem will do Chesed to the thousands. We have to follow his path, as in Parshas Mishpatim, Shlishi, Pasuk Chaf Beis, Pasuk. I'm sorry, Parak Chaf Beis, Pasuk Chaf Dalet. In Kesef Talba Isami, we learn of the form of Chesed that we always know, the Gamach, that you're supposed to lend money. Psosik Mitzvahs Hashovas Avod, also how to return the collateral. Shahu Noveh Gam Kemidas Tzedakah, which is an Indian of charity, Kamavora, the Mishnah Torah, and then we go to Devarim Chavdal Yud Gimel V'chein Parshas Bahar Sinai. Arbeini Sheish Bem Kulam Benuyim Amidas Chesed. Everything is Kagon Geulas Krovim, have redemption of the relatives. V'chai Achicha Noch. All these are Inyan of Chesed. V'achar Kach Hisponanti Chavetz Chaim says Be'emes Ein Case Le'Noni Chesed Yesh B'Torah. There's no end. That throughout the Torah everything is full of Chesed. Ki kama b'kama mitzvahs aseh v'chein lavin yesh b'Torah. There's so many mitzvahs aseh and lavin in the Torah. Hakol noveh midias chasda yisbarach kagon dinei leket shikha peah v'chein ma'aser ani v'chein inyani shmita. All the agricultural laws that help the poor. Milvad mashu Shabbos Hashem. Besides shmita, od kosev v'shviyas tishmatenu and tashma achlu evyone amecha. The fact that it becomes hefker, and during the sabbatical year, and the poor can partake. The Chaim Mitzvahs Hashavas Aveda. Also, we are taught about returning, as we learned to the Chavetz Chaim. Sheisira Torah lechutz admam Yisrael. Afilu al shova pruta, when it comes to Ashova Zaveda, even something that's so minuscule that worth only a penny, Litruach al zela, Shiva love, you still have a mitzvah, Chay mitzvah, priko tina, to lift up and help to unload. V'kiyotze b'zeh harbe mitzvahs, v'kolhu, and there's an asterisk for a footnote. I don't know if we'll have any time. Let's continue. Mitzvah tuva chaslo siva kam kein lios le'ezer re'inei l'kol mashenuchal kein. Manati et asmi l'achshov od beferish kol makomos shebedibra Torah v'en. Chavetz Chaim said he had to limit himself. A maskil yizboni kol ma she'arachnu l'malo. Kevin shekol kach godol kedushos mitad chesed. Shekol ha'Torah meleim is there. The Torah is full of chesed. Kama yesh lo, and we continue. La'adam lahachzik b'mira k'dosha zu shelo lisrapos mimenu. You should be strengthened in it and not weaken yourself. Kol yamimim shulchay al adama. L'zek siv v'torah v'shoftim chamishi. It says l'leches b'drachav kol yomim. We have to imtato day. We have to follow Hashem's path of chesed. Tainu shelo yistapik mamash oseh chesed pamachas b'chodesh u'b'shua kasher nevara im yirtzeh Hashem chel beis perak yud beis. We shouldn't satisfy ourselves only doing chesed once a month or once a week. We should do it every day. Every day should be full of chesed. And I'm going to say the footnote until we get cut off. I wish everyone Yom Tov L'Kulam. Here we go for the footnote until I get, editorialized, until zooms me out. You don't say the guardians ignored me. Yirmiyah was complaining about two things. Right next to the korban, they already forgot Hashem runs the word the people who were during the base of Mikdash saw the hashgacha, the providence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The miracles of the base of Mikdash. They never would ask, where's Hashem? Lo minkar shkachaso ein zos rak shedover hazeh zos mi libam kol iko l'chal chaim makzikim avrotzam. Yet they knew it and they lost their hashgacha. And the second reading, Ozos she'enam makirim kulam et golol tuva v'chaso shekadosh baruch hu. They didn't recognize, they didn't appreciate the greatness of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shafilu tov se'ar Torah, shalom dem Torah, v'ayolem lisbonim, and mitzvos chukah b'shkvoro yisparach. Those who learn Torah should appreciate the Torah. Shehu tov v'rachum, built sure that he is the one who gives us magnificence, gives us beneficiary, gives us everything. Kivkam ken lo yaduni, hainu she'enam misbonim klal mi'ani. They didn't know who Kadosh Baruch Hu. She'ilu hayu misbonim v'adayu mamarim l'shuv elov b'cholov v'shuv. If they appreciated Kadosh Baruch Hu, they would have done tshuva v'yisomchem al godol racham v'chasadav. They would have depended solely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu hashgacha. Shebavada yikamlim im tashuv Yisrael nu'um Hashem elai tashuv ki chassid ani nu'um Hashem lo atur le'olam. Hashem will never bear a grudge against us. That is, I was able to sneak in the footnote, and with that, I wish everyone Yom Tov, Chaim Tovim.